a little bit of gardening corn for you. Oh, look at that lovely crumbly compost. Ow! Why have I just stabbed myself on pretty hard? So I'm walking the plank. Why am I like this? We have a mystery supplier of manure who's dumped it off. It's good, but also it's not good because we're not allowed to have things dumped in the car park. But we have some manure. It looks very fresh though because it smells. It smells like a freaking farmyard. It's definitely fresh manure. Good morning everyone and welcome back to my plot. Today I'm going to be doing a bit of filling up the beds that I made last week, and I'm going to give you a bit of a plot tour so you can see kind of the state of my plots, and maybe even somebody might be able to give you some ideas of what I can do. Probably thinking, why the hell is she dressed like it's for summer? Because I'm actually really hot, and it's actually like 13-14 degrees today where I am in the south coast, and I get really hot when I'm working, so I thought, let's just get some of the sun on me while I can and bloody enjoy it. I've even got some sunglasses because it's freaking sunny. Look at the blue skies. It is delightfully warm in my polytunnel this morning, so I'm not going to need a coat today. It's feeling very spring-like, even though it was very frosty this morning and everything was iced up. I knew that after like a couple of hours it would defrost and then be beautiful, and it is. Got to take advantage of these sunny days when they come because they are few and far between. I've got my trusty broken wheelbarrow again. In a minute someone's going to send me a free wheelbarrow, aren't they? So I need to get all of this onto my plot with a broken wheelbarrow. Good fun. I think I'm pushing my luck a little bit with 4 bags. We'll give it a go. I'm actually pleasantly surprised at how easy that was for me to move it. I mentioned in the last video, not that anyone cares, but I'm telling you anyway, I've been going to the gym and I've been doing weight training, which is actually helping me, so I'm out of breath, it's helping me with all the lifting that I've got to do. Bags of compost and wheelbarrows and shoveling. Yeah, it's really been helpful. Now can we get this down without it slipping off the top? Let's go. Did it? Managed to bring it all down. No, nothing fell off. Right, I'm going to get on with a really boring job first, which is bringing over my compost and filling up the second bed and possibly filling up the third if I've got enough. So that's what I'm going to do. Ow! Why have I just stabbed myself on pretty hard? Right, let's move some bits. I'm so messy. So I mentioned in the last video that I've been gifted some compost and some mulch from PlantGrow, and they've been really nice about letting me test it out first before I recommend. So my videos for this year are going to be featuring PlantGrow. Oh my god, I've just moved the wheelbarrow with 4 of these bags in and I'm out of breath. Right, what was I saying? Yes, they've gifted me some multi-purpose peat-free compost and also some mulch to try out for the season. So whilst this isn't necessarily an ad, I'm not telling you to go and buy it because I don't know if it's any good yet. I'm sure it will be. This was gifted, so I wanted to just make people aware that I didn't pay for this stuff. So yeah, so I'm going to hopefully give you a very fair and honest review of how I get on with this stuff throughout the season. So yeah. So I need to open it in a way that means that I can keep the plastic, but I don't have any sharp tools with me. But what I'm going to do is I've tried to keep hold of this plastic anyway because it's kind of good for covering bare ground, and also it's good for hanging baskets. I don't like to waste stuff. So if I do have to have plastic, which unfortunately I had to have these in bags because my allotment's a little bit remote, so it's a bit difficult to get big bulk bags here. So this was the only way I could kind of get it here. So yeah. The consistency is nice. It feels quite crumbly. It's not full of huge pieces either. In fact, it doesn't seem to be full of anything. Some of the peat frees, some of the cheap peat frees can be quite questionable. But this one, so far, it feels really good. They were outside my house. They've got a little bit frozen, so they're a little bit lumpy, but that's just because they've got cold and probably frozen together. So as you can see, it's quite crumbly. It's very nice. I really like the texture of it so far. It's a little bit of gardening porn for you. Oh, look at that lovely crumbly compost. It's mad how many bags or how many like loads of compost it actually takes to fill these. This could probably do with another one, but I kind of want to at least get another one filled today. It's still very boggy down this end. Really boggy. I don't think 2 days of sunshine is going to clear up the mud that quickly. I know you're going to come at me about how I'm opening these bags, aren't you? Somebody said there's a really good way of doing it. I think you slice it in the middle in a cross. So if somebody knows, tell me. And also, what do you do with your compost bags? What can you do to reuse your compost bags? I'd like to know. I would say it probably needs about four bags to fill this. That's because this is my last bag. I'm going to get so muddy today. Everything's so wet at the moment, that's the problem. I'm looking forward to the ground drying up a little bit, but not too much because I have really heavy clay soil. So in the height of the summer, it just bakes rock hard and you can't do anything with it. So spring is like the sweet spot. And everything is just about starting to sort of come through. So I'm really running out of time to get everything prepared before everything gets back on top of me like it does every goddamn year. I really sort of, oh, stick. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind this year just because I had my book to write. But yeah, definitely think one more. Which I do have, but I kind of wanted to keep it for sewing anything. So that's 3 bags. It's definitely enough space for another bag. Probably could even get another 2 bags in there. And that one is, I reckon I could squeeze another bag in each of those. But I've got this one to fill up, and I've also got one more to bring down So yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, how much it actually costs to fill raised beds. Whereas obviously if your ground's good enough, you can just, you know, dig into the ground, which is kind of the best option. But I've got so much grass and weeds that raised beds just keeps all the grass and the weeds out, just makes it easier for me, really. Right, well, I finished that really quickly. Now I'm going home. No, not really. Let me give you a tour of my plot at the moment and just show you what I'm working with this year. I'll start at the beginning and then I'll show you all the way around my first plot, and then I'll go down to my second plot and show you that. So this is the beginning. We've got my flower bed here, which usually looks really nice, but obviously at this time of year it's a little bit naff. This is my herb bed. These are, I can't remember if it's onion or garlic that I planted last year and it didn't do anything, and then it's come up this year. So that's a nice little surprise since I haven't had any time to plant any garlic or onions yet. They're my raised beds, obviously. This little bit here is my grapevine, which I don't know if they're still alive. They really don't look alive, although that's a bit bendy. So if you do want to check if a plant's alive still, you can just scrape back the bark, which my fingernail is not doing. Just get something slightly sharp. Anyway, I'll check that at some point, but they don't look very alive. And there's another one. So I think I'm going to grow something different up this year, because I've had them for several years and I've never had a single grape. Right, and now this is the bit that's causing me all the anxiety. This used to have 4 beds on either side, but as the years have gone on, they have collapsed, and all of the wood, as you can see, it just looks terrible. The wood's just collapsed. So this is like, last year my polytunnel blew away, and so this was all of sort of the inside of the polytunnel, and I haven't been able to have a chance to sort it out. So that is a complete and utter mess. Just ignore that. This is my strawberry bed. This is a new bed that I made for something or other, I don't really know. I've been using wood chip to try and sort of improve the ground because it is horrific here. These were, look, it just looks very sad. I know I didn't use these beds last year because they just got so weedy that I just couldn't do anything with. There's half a bed. You see, it just looks like a building site. And this is my broken polytunnel, which I still haven't sorted. Yeah, basically this is like the forgotten area. I've got lots of wood that I can do bits with. So basically the whole thing kind of needs clearing out, and I'll just start again. I think I'm going to have a bonfire and get rid of all this wood and start again, maybe cover it for a bit just to get the ground sort of weed free. But yeah, it's not good. And I need to weed and mulch this little bed here. These are going to be new beds. I kind of want some more pallet collars so that I can do the same here, because again, this is a bit of a problem area too. Gets lots of grass. I've got comfrey in there. Obviously you can see from the outside we've got the massive rat holes, so I need to do something with those. Despite having sleepers, as you can see, down, they've still managed to dig under, so I need to do something with that really. It's my compost bins, and this is an area I've been trying to this is so embarrassing. I've been covering it with cardboard just to try and kill the weeds, but it needs to be dug and flattened because it's really lumpy. Because when we dug out for my what will be wildlife pond, the mud ended up there and I never really sorted it. So it's just diabolical. All of this is going to be beds, but I've got some materials and surplus bits and bobs there. And I think I'm probably going to weed this today, because once this is weeded, it'll look quite nice. I've got daffodils, and I usually plant wildflowers and stuff in there. So it looks quite pretty normally. I will put a photo in so you can see what it normally looks like, which at the moment, like everything else, it just looks an absolute state. So I'm just going to go down to my other plot, which I will admit, I think I pretty much ignored for the whole of last season. So it's a lot smaller, It's like a half plot, and it could probably be fixed and sorted relatively quickly in comparison to the other one. So what I'm probably going to do is ignore half of the other plot, which I showed you, and then try and sort out this plot. I've got 4 beds here, all need weeding and the grass needs cutting. This one needs repairing because the thing's sort of caved in on itself, so I just need to screw that back in. But yeah, these all need filling. They all need new compost. This is my beautiful rhubarb. This has been an absolute winner. It's an early rhubarb too, because most people don't have rhubarb. But I do. Look at it. It's delightful. It's so nice to see this. Makes me so happy. So yeah, 4 beds that need weeding, loads of grass. It's really lumpy here and horrible. Like the ground is so uneven. There's lumps and holes. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's so bad. Lumpy and awful. These are my loganberries, which do not really like being in these tyres because they get a bit too hot and dry, but also they're massive. So I think I'm going to move those this year and put them over where the grapevines were. And these are strawberry tyres, which I'm going to have a little experiment this year, and I'm going to try and grow some squash in the tyres because squash really like heat. You can actually grow them in compost bins as well. So I thought I'm going to move my tyres over to the other side of the polytunnel where the ground is sort of grassy, and I'm going to plant some squash and maybe some cucumbers and see if they like the heat of the tyre. Some people will say you shouldn't have tyres on your soil because the chemicals can leach into your soil, but I have looked into this quite thoroughly, and there's such a tiny chance of it actually causing any trouble to your soil and your produce. So, and also my tyres aren't damaged too badly. I think it's usually a really damaged tyre which can cause the issues. So I'm going to concentrate on this bed here just because it's the other part of the area that I'm working on. So I think if I can get that clear, it would look quite nice. It'll make me feel good. I need to inspect my raspberries because I think they're all dead. They appear to still be alive. See new shoots. Although, I don't remember what this is. Some kind of currant bush? Said it before and I'll say it again. This is a great tool, but the bigger one, which I put into the left. So I'm using this tiny one, which takes twice as long. I like to do things the hard way. Some raspberries, they seem to be alive. Oh, maybe not. And these ones don't look. Oh, I don't know. Not looking great, is it? Oh, these ones have got some new shoots on. Do you have any shoots on them? But yeah, there's the currant bush. Can't remember if it's red or white. We will find out. Going there with the weeding. Put this here so that I can walk across this and not compact my soil. It's like walking the plank. Why am I like this? Tool. I think it's from Kent and Stowe. It's really good for getting weeds out and for planting things. This is really useful. It's called a Dutch trowel. So I decided now is a good time to lay a few patio slabs in between the big bed and the new raised beds, just to help keep the weeds down. I had a pile of patio slabs ready to do exactly this. So now I've got a nice path in between that I can walk on when I am planting and weeding. And next time I'm down, I'm going to put some wood chip in between the gaps. There was a bit of an annoying part here which had lots of grass, so I just had to dig it out. Getting there, start to look like I'm done stuff. I'm just layering the last 2 bits of cardboard ready for the final raised bed, which in hindsight I should have done with all of them. I've got a section here of grass which is growing out of my sort of allotment area, so I'm just digging that up because I'm going to be making a new bed for my loganberries, hopefully in the next video. I appreciate I'm getting rid of quite a lot of nigella flowers, which are beautiful, but they've kind of taken over and now they're going into my path. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of them because they just go a bit mad when they seed. So we're getting there slowly. I've weeded most of this, just got this little patch here and the grassy bit at the end, which I'm avoiding. But yeah, pretty pleased with that. It's starting to look really good. So I have worked my bum off today. I've managed to lay a path, I've managed to fill my beds apart from one, and I've left some space for another new bed. So next time I come up, I'm going to grab the other pallet collar and make the last bed. And I've weeded a patch, so the time just disappears, I swear. So I'm going to go now and I will see you again at the end of this week for another video. Bye.